Today, I'm critiquing the part 2 of the most expensive home for sale in the Valley of Los Angeles, and then I'm going to give it an Arvin score at the end of the video. So if you ever decide to design, build, or buy a property like this, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm Arvin Haddad, I'm the mansion guy. I'm going to link part 1 at the end of this video, so let's watch this together right now.
Above us is the balcony for the primary bedroom, and they have a floating deck design, meaning underneath the decking is the roof, and that roof collects all the rainwater and it pushes into the copper gutter that's here. And in fact, you can see these little drain lines coming down from the deck into this big system, and from there normally it should connect to another gutter that will push the water down into the drain lines that are below the house. But instead of doing that, they take the downspout, gave it a little angle, opened the face of it, and they turned it into a water feature. That way during light rain you can easily sit here and listen water as it goes down to the drain.
Keyword being light rain. If it's a heavy rain, bring your shampoo because the water is going to be everywhere here.
Without a doubt, one of my favorite details in this home. It's funny, it's like an 18,000 square foot home. There are so many different rooms, areas, but this is the first time I'm seeing a detail like this. We see rain chains all the time. We see different applications, but I think this is extremely clever. I love that they went with copper because it's gonna age and again, develop a beautiful patina, just like the rest of the exterior.
I know what you're thinking, my international audience. What the hell is a patina? You're like, I had a girlfriend named Patricia, but I don't know about patina. Well, imagine if Patricia, okay, didn't age so well, okay, or aged a lot, okay? In either case, if she aged bad or good, she developed a patina, okay? So patina is the process of oxidization or change, surface level change of a material. So he's saying the copper is going to look more oxidized and green in the future. And good luck with you and your ex-girlfriend, Patina.
Follow me this way. Let's go check out these detached structures. Again, I love the backdrop here. The fact that we're minutes away from Studio City, Sherman Oaks, from Ventura Boulevard, which is arguably one of the most important streets in the San Fernando Valley.
He's right about this. Ventura Boulevard is the most important street in the valley, and I will tell you why. In fact, it's so important, it really matters which side of Ventura Boulevard you live. Almost all the properties south of Ventura Boulevard, closer to LA, are more valuable. However, the north side of the boulevard is like 90% of the valley. So this pocket on the south side of Ventura Boulevard is the most valuable almost across the whole valley. I talk about this in my Perfect Mansion workshop, how main streets really divide and define neighborhoods in price points, and it's so important to pay attention which side of main road you are for many reasons. So if you haven't taken the Perfect Mansion workshop, the link is in the description. I'm running the next one in November. I will see you guys there.
Now with that said, let's go see this amazing spot. I'm really impressed with the approach here.
I'm not, and let me tell you guys why. I'm impressed by the execution of the design. They've kept it very simple, I would say very Roman. Except the house is not really Roman. It's very Zen, earthy. If I was advising an inner circle client who was building this house, I would have pushed him to go in a direction of more of a Japanese themed spot. I think it would have gone so much better with the backyard you had.
I love how open the room is. Right in the center, we have the hot tub, your cold plunge, and over on this side, we have the steam shower. Now we have to walk into this space because this has to be the biggest steam shower we've ever seen on this channel.
Oh my God, this is huge. That's what she said. Like, how are you trying to sell tickets here? It would take you a minute for it to warm up, you know? This is not gonna be fast.
And I'm like, can you meet me on the other side? Here we have another opening. To our right, we have a massage table.
Come on, dude. You had this opportunity to create a little nook in a little zen area for the massage room. Why does everybody put it in like a walk-in closet? It's so bad. I never want to get a massage in a room like this.
Now, leaving the spa, I want to quickly show you this really interesting space that is situated between these two structures, and it is your outdoor dining area. Whether it's the steel gazebo, the extensive use of limestone, and the retaining wall behind us that's nicely landscaped, this section has a vibe to it.
I don't think so. I like the barbecue area. That's the proper place to put it. You could have maybe set up a bar for drinking, hanging out, but I would not have put an outdoor dining table over here, and I will tell you guys why. You had 1.4 acres of flat land. A proper outdoor dining experience should have its own space and away from the structures. You could have tree line, you could have set it up with olive trees and put a designated spot for outdoor dining, not tucked between these two structures here.
Why don't we continue this way? Again, more olive trees, green grass. That's the right wing of the property that we're gonna see in a second, especially the second floor. And over here, we have the gym. I really appreciate that even these detached structures come with vaulted ceilings, same oak paneling throughout. They left the space very open, furnished very minimalist. You can see the dumbbells, some gym equipment, stationary bikes, and we also have built-in storage space here that creates this, again, portal effect.
Okay, this is a really good sized gym. I like the gym. Now, the only two things you really have to worry about these two structure is water intrusion from that huge hill behind you. This is really hard, and you really got to consider this. If you put a structure against a retainer wall, and there's like a freaking mountain behind this mirror, water creeps in over time. When you have rain, right, the mountain doesn't have proper drainage. So you really got to double, triple check to make sure, you know, there's no water intrusions coming over here, because typically like 80% of the time when you put it attached to that structure, the space starts feeling damp and you get that mold smell in the structure.
Over here, we have the bathroom. Small water closet, your vanity, but wait till you see the walk-in shower. This is crazy. We were just in the spa and we saw those two open walk-in showers. Here you get an enclosed walk-in shower with this unique tile installation.
Wait a minute, you put two showers in these two separate structures, but you didn't put a dry sauna in the other one? Why would you do that? Such a waste of money. You had 3 kitchens in part 1. Make sure you watch to the end. I will link it. In the first floor alone. And now you have 2 sets of shower and you forgot about the dry sauna. I wouldn't have done this. I really like the execution. I like these tiles, okay? And again, brass goes with it. But again, brass is kind of slowly going out, you know? It's really 2020. It's not really 2025, 2026. It's really backward looking.
Now we're gonna tour the far corner of this property where we have the meditation deck. Comes with a built-in seating area, lush landscaping, and you also have an infrared sauna here. And I love this outdoor space because it gives you a chance to walk away from the property.
To come to, this looks like the one I have in my house. This is just like a cookie cutter infrared sauna with no cold plunge, no shower. I wouldn't have executed here. It's good to have this little nook, okay? Maybe for a fire pit, some other water element, a koi pond. But I wouldn't have stick the, dry sauna over here without all the other stuff that you need next to it. That steam sauna was way, way too big. You could have divided it right there. Had a steam sauna. You could have had a dry sauna. You had the cold plunge over there. You opened up to a beautiful backyard. If you were going to execute another spa over here, a sauna over here, you should have really built it in and not just bought one, off Amazon and put it out there.
Now we're gonna check out the second floor of the right wing. We have a hallway here that takes us to 3 spacious guest suites that we're gonna check out in a second. But first, I wanna talk about the deck that's to my left. Now, this is a great outdoor space with views of the surrounding trees. It's private, you get a small seating area, built-in planters, and it also gives you access to the peak section of the right wing, where on the first floor we have the 3-car garage, and on the second floor we have the mace quarters.
You're confused, I know. Look, this property has 2 second floors that are not connected with each other. If you want to go from one of them to the other, you have to go down the stairs and take a very long hallway to the other side. There's only 2 bathrooms. Okay? You might have to make a pet stop, and then you take the stairs up to come over here. The connectivity on this property is going to be a nightmare.
Now, I'm not going out there because I'm trying to keep this tour nice and to the point, and given that house is symmetrical, on the left wing we have the same outdoor space dedicated to the primary bedroom that we're going to tour later. But for now, let's continue our tour. And to my right, we have the first guest suite. They call this room the mustard room, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I love the color here.
Look, the palette works, but I really believe it's inspired by baby poop. If you've had a kid, the first 3 months, this is the exact poop color. I wouldn't be surprised if they took the color sample from a diaper.
I want to quickly go back to the hallway. Picture window facing the courtyard that we saw on the first floor. And then over here, we have a small seating area.
This is a galley seating area. Very tight. Probably more appropriate for an office. But they want to have a living area upstairs. Very important because it would take you, 5 minutes to get downstairs from here. So it's. I'm very glad that they actually put an upstairs living area over here.
It's a cozy space dedicated for the guest suites on this wing. And we have the third bedroom here. But first, let's check out the second bedroom. Off of the entry, we have some built-in closets. And then we have the bedroom. Now this room was initially designed as the meditation room. That's why it gets so much natural light. 2 sets of sliding glass doors, massive skylight above us. I mean, I can easily wear my sunglasses here, but they decided to make it another bedroom suite.
Why? They didn't have enough bedrooms. Again, it would have been interesting if you would have... See, this is, again, if you halfway through the project change the concept, that tells me that you didn't plan ahead. When in the inner circle, when I'm advising my clients, we identify 3 avatars of a buyer, okay? And we design to accommodate most their wants and needs for resale value, along with all your wants and needs. So every decision I make in the inner circle for a client of mine, I'm going back. Which avatar does this accommodate? Does it or does not? And have we accommodated their other needs? To me, it was probably a good idea in the origin, but somewhere along the way, they went off a tangent and they were like, you know what, forget about the meditation room. That avatar, spiritually is not here anymore. It has joined the divine. You plan for something, you don't execute it, then you get a room like this, which is going to be impossible to sleep because the skylight is there. You have to make sure you have a cover for that. You wake up 5 a.m. every morning.
I love that you get outdoor access to these little decks. In fact, you can also see the meditation deck that we tore earlier.
I think in the original design might have been a zip line. Just straight into the sauna. Maybe.
Now the last bedroom we're gonna see is on this side. Let's go in. The way they designed this room is very unique. Whether it's the oak paneling, vaulted ceilings, the built-in closet right off the entry, and this shallow wall design that creates some separation between the entry and the bedroom itself.
It looks like a sauna. They actually did give us a dry sauna upstairs as one of the bedrooms. Again, I'm not against that. It's so funny though. If you look at like 1970s, they used wood paneling extensively like this, and it's coming back. It's a very good execution. It really makes the house warm. It's cohesive with the rest of the property. I'm not against it. I just like to make fun of it sometimes.
And over here, we got a stunning bathroom. Arma, why don't we go in? Same hardwood floors continue. And you can see the travertine fabrication with the vanity. And they use travertine for everything. Drawer fronts, the frame itself, the countertop, fabrication for the sink, and they left it unfilled. So you get this natural texture.
And, your pubic hairs.
Spacious walk-in shower. And now let's go see the deck. We have over 4,400 square feet of outdoor decks throughout the second floor. And I love the fact that you can access to the outdoors so easily. You saw the first floor of this home, and the way this property is designed, it's all about the outdoors. It's all about this gorgeous backdrop, and you want to maximize that. And with these decks, you can just leave your bedroom, walk outside, and in this case, it's a very spacious deck with Core 10 steel railing, Core 10 built-in planters, and this amazing backdrop.
Okay, I'm not against this deck, but why didn't you furnish it? The way it looks right now, it's really in a sleeping position or a sitting position in your bedroom. It's really blocking your angle to the backyard. So it's not ideal. You should have really put furniture out there to sell it. Otherwise, why would you come over here?
And right on the other side, again, tying it back to the symmetry, we have the primary bedroom suite. Let's go check it out.
So this wing was pretty much for guests, okay? If you have a family, you're not going to use this part of the house at all. And in my inner circle, I talk about how much of the square footage actually you're going to use that you're going to end up paying for. We saw 3 guest bedrooms over here and a living arrangement, plus the maid's quarters above the garage. How often are you going to have 3 guests? I think you're going to see spider webs over here. Like, it will be like that area in the house that you rarely ever would go to. The other demographic or avatar could be a generational house where the grandparents live over here and, the family lives on the other side. Again, grandparents on the second floor with no elevator. See, these are all like little things when you're designing the house that you have to pay attention to. So you end up not making something that nobody wants.
Now, as promised, before we check out the primary bedroom, I want to quickly step outside and show you this outdoor deck. I really like the design elements here, but it's the solid wood decking, Core-10 steel railing, which gives this industrial touch. And then we have Core-10 steel planters, and all these materials are going to age so beautifully and kind of lean into the natural aspect of this home. We also get a small seating area here. And Armand, why don't we turn this way quickly? Right on the other side, we have the primary bedroom closet, and there's also another wraparound deck there.
Why is the closet open to the outside? So people can watch your wife change? What's the point of this? Oh my God. I'm not trying to be super conservative here, guys, but I don't think this is okay.
Now, as promised, the other space that we're going to check out is the peak section of this volume, which is the TV room.
Why is the TV room here? So everybody can watch your wife naked? What? First of all, this does not look like a TV room. Like, you're facing each other instead of facing the TV. Again, they're just trying to make something out of nothing, and they got the herpy lights over here too. Why? I don't get it. You could have had storage. You probably need a lot of storage for a property this big.
How awesome it is that your primary bedroom wing gets its own TV room. Now, continuing with our scheduled programming, next up we have the primary bedroom, another solid oak interior door, and when we walk in, we immediately step into the bedroom. I like the vaulted ceilings here, oak paneling, plaster walls. It has more of a softer aesthetic. To my left, you can see the small seating area with this coffee table, and I like the design here, how the legs are actually coming through the surface of the table. And then you can see the sliding glass doors opening up to this spacious deck where you can see the architecture of the home, this gorgeous backdrop.
And that's all you're going to see. You're going to see the roof of the other structures, not your backyard, which is the most beautiful and precious thing you've got. You see, this whole deck, the depth of it, is really blocking your line of sight from interior of the room to see the backyard, and that's a negative. Let me explain why. The volume of this primary room and the volume of all the rooms have been really, really good in this property, meaning they're really wide, right? So from a standing position, even from the center of the room, your deck is blocking your line of sight to your backyard, which is beautiful. You're looking at other buildings within your own property. Not ideal. You could have had designated areas to have, outdoor patios and everything, but it's so extensively done and is pushed out so far. Your backyard is massive and it's long enough to block your freaking backyard. Not ideal. I would like to see the backyard when I'm walking. I want to have a line of sight, at least for a portion of the room.
And then to my right, we have this low bed frame, linen sheets. Now next up, I want to take everybody this way. Here we have a small seating area and the walk-in closet. I like that these two spaces are pretty connected to each other. And over on this side, we got this gorgeous chic couch and these brass light fixtures that are actually solid. In fact, these light fixtures are so heavy that...
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the backyard? You don't. The cameraman is standing in the middle of the room, okay, pointing out, and you barely see the swimming pool. You only see the other building. And this is a massive backyard. See, I don't pull crap out of my, where sun doesn't shine. When I tell you this terrace is really messing up the ambiance on the upper floor, I'm not kidding. You should have had an outdoor area for the primary suite, but not at the expense of blocking your entire view to your gorgeous backyard.
And then I want to quickly turn to the other side. You almost have this island / bar design here, whether if you want to just decorate it with some books or have some of your clothes here. There's built-in cabinetry on this side, and this is the rest of the walk-in closet.
So everyone can watch your wife change. Not for me, man. Sorry. Call me old school or Middle Eastern, whatever you want. I'm not down with this.
That opens up to that balcony we saw earlier, so you got a ton of storage space.
No, you don't. It was very wasteful. For his and her, for a property with $42 million, there's a lot of square footage, but there's a ton of waste in there. This wall that has a glass, opens up to that patio, and there was not even enough room on the other side of it. For his and her, not enough at all. Maybe there's another closet.
Now, I want to quickly go this way to show you the incredible primary bathroom. The amount of space you get here.
What happened? The theme changed. The designer was like, I can't do it anymore. Too much natural wood. Marble. Just marble. This bathroom has to be all marble. It doesn't go. It's just not balanced. Again, it's too much. Way too much. Even the drawers of the vanity are marble. Crazy. Way too much.
The entire wall features 2 vanities, and the entire thing is crafted out of marble. In fact, one detail that I really love is how they recessed in these mirrors, but curved the corners so gently as well. Also, these corners are curved, and there's this marble wall section here that hides your built-in shelving. That way you keep this minimalist aesthetic, but all of your toiletry products are actually nicely tucked away.
That's not enough? There's no medicine cabinet here. That's it? Oh my God. This is, again, not so practical over here. You're going to have that vanity filled with a bunch of your stuff. They've actually tried to minimize that to give a very clean look. But in reality, when you move in, all your stuff is going to be around the sink because they didn't give you a vanity mirror where it opens up or enough shelving to hide your stuff.
Now, on the other side, we have our freestanding tub. Again, same style fixtures, half marble walls. There's a gorgeous bench here with leather wrap top, separate water closet with a total toilet. And even here, there's a small magazine holder and a light fixture, talking about attention to detail. And then over here, we have this brass framed glass door opening up to this spacious walk-in shower. And I must say, this is one of the biggest showers we've filled recently.
Oh my God. So wasteful. Like, you didn't have enough closet space, but then you went with a mega sized shower that you would literally use a small portion of it.
Even this space opens up to the outdoors, to the wraparound deck, super private. That's also a deer crossing, by the way.
In the beginning of the video, you said it was a park.
Gorgeous trees. In fact, behind us is a park.
And you just opened up the shower to the park? Like showing off your wife to the rest of the family, and the guest wasn't good enough? We have to give it all? Okay, let's give it an Arvin score. But before I do that, did you notice there's no secondary bedroom on this wing? Meaning, any family with a young kid, no, it's not going to work out. Because your baby's going to be on the other wing. Okay, let's give it an Arvin score. Location, Studio City, Fryman States. It's just not really in it. It's too close to Laurel Canyon. I would have typically given this an 8, but to me, it's a 7. Lot quality, 1.4 acres, beautiful lot. Really love it. I'm going to give it a 10. Lot utilization. Look, on paper, it's going to look really good because you did have a massive frontage. You did have great side setbacks, and you had a great size backyard. But it didn't do the lot justice, right? Just because you got your setbacks right, that doesn't mean you maximize the value of the lot. In my opinion, you should have repositioned from the front of the lot, pushed the property towards the street, and created a much bigger backyard, a much better connectivity. That would have completely given you a 10 score. In this case, because they screwed up such a good lot, I'm still have to give it an 8, but it just didn't do the property justice whatsoever. Privacy. Look, it should have had a 10 score, but they've created some privacy issues for themselves. I'm going to give it an 8. Lot orientation. You're west facing, but your setbacks are so good. You're going to get natural light from everywhere. So I'm going to give it an 8. Architectural style. Look, I think they executed that Napa barn farmhouse really well, but they made a lot of mistakes as far as the shape of the property, the look of the property, which affects significantly the layout of the property. But architecturally, it does look good to an eye. I'm going to give it an 8. View. It's really not a view property. From an elevated position, you see some treetops. I'm going to give it a 2. Layout. I'm going to give it a 0 because they completely screwed it up. I might be too harsh on this one, but I will tell you guys why. You screwed up your wow factor when you walked in part 1. You gave 2 openings. You never gave a straight shot to really enjoy that backyard and really show it off. Your bedroom distribution was horrible. Your primary suite had no other bedrooms next to it. Your kids were a mile away. You had the longest hallway in a residential property I've ever seen. It was room to room to room. Horrible layout for living in. Scale and volume. It was good, but it wasn't great. Like the rooms were proportional, but you never got that one room, that salon, that great room that would really, show what you're paying for. And $42 million without a proper great room, we just never got that. And for that reason, I have to give it a 6.5. Finishes. This is an easy one. I have to give it a 9.5. It was really bespoke. The millwork in this property was fantastic. Here's the Arvin score, and I will give you an explanation for this one because I've read the comment and I hear how some of you are confused about how a property could be so critiqued harshly and get a really high Arvin score. You see, the Arvin score is the overall, how well-rounded this property is. But only even one principle, like in this case, the layout, could completely destroy the resale value of that property. So I want you guys to pay more attention to the individual score than the overall score. Sometimes, in this case, for example, the architectural style, the shape of the house, and its positioning on the lot forced the layout issue, which really, really destroyed the resale value, and it caused so many other problems. That's why in my Perfect Mansion workshop, I go over all the 10 principles and I explain each one of them and the interplay in between them. How your architectural style will affect your layout, how it will affect your privacy, how your setbacks will affect everything else in the property. So it really comes together in the Perfect Mansion workshop. I'm running one in November. You would love to have you. It's really affordable. I've had incredible amount of reviews. I'll ask my editor to put them on the TV. You'll see how much people are learning from that. And also, if you want to join the inner circle, if you have a project you want to buy, remodel, or design a property, I would love to be that guide for you guys. I'm raising my prices in 2026. So if you want to get the 2025 prices, sign up now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the comments.